Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, today we are going to review Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris. I know, 4 years late, but after making the Fractured Daydream review, I was thinking like, oh, I made Lasher Collection review already and Fractured Daydream, and my first full Sword Art Online gameplay walkthrough was Alicization Lycoris, and I never get the chance to talk what I want to talk about. I mean, I did when I revisit the game. I did talk about a few things, and I want to elaborate more into this big review video. And I heard from the comments there are still some people who's like questioning, like, oh, should I buy this game? Oh, is this game good? Well, this video here is for people like that. So yeah, again, I'm going in without script, but we're doing the usual. We're gonna start with gameplay and graphics. We're going to story, music, and then conclusion. This will be a very short one, but yeah, I don't think I can go in depth because it's been a long time since I played Lycoris. So I'm gonna say the things that I only remember. So yeah, if I made a mistake, you can just correct me on the comments. That will be much appreciated. So yeah, let's start off with gameplay and graphics. The first one, we have gameplay. The gameplay here is pretty okay actually for an RPG game. Sure, there are just basic button mashing, like pressing square for attack, and that's about it really. Or click, I don't really remember for like keyboards or anything. But yeah, you only use the one button. But then you have a auto skill as well after you finish a full combo, and unlike Last Recollection here, the finishing skill only does one, so it does not do at least like 3 skills like in Last Recollection. And I think, in my opinion, this is a lot better because in Last Recollection you're just basically spamming the same button because the game is doing like the job for you by using skills. In this game, sure, it does an auto skill at the end, but you can still connect it with your own like manual skill, and I think that is far better because the rewards, I don't really remember what it was, but if you do a lot of skill connect, I think it does something good. I don't remember, either it's a damage increase or the gauge of the skills or the arts increase. It's either one of those or even both. But yeah, and it's far more satisfying as well, in my opinion, because, well, you're just not pressing the same button over and over again. And unlike Last Recollection, this game, the AI enemy is actually pretty okay. Actually, they're pretty good. They attack a lot. They damage you, although not in an unfair way like probably Last Recollection, because that is very brutal. It's crazy. So yeah, in here you are forced to dodge. You are forced to take action rather than, you know, hitting the enemy and not moving. In here you actually have to move or even block at some point. So yeah, I'm gonna compare a lot here to Last Recollection because this is the game before that, and why I think this game as a gameplay is way better than Last Recollection. So yeah, the blocking system, every single weapon type here, you can parry basically. So if you block and then you move your character with your left joystick or maybe your WASD, Kirito will do a parry attack, and you have to do it, obviously parrying, you have to do it on time when the enemy is attacking. And unlike in Last Recollection, where it only works if you use the weapon with the bare knuckles weapon. I forgot the name. The one that Argo uses in the anime and in the game as well. But yeah, in this one you can parry, and I think it's also really good for the blocking. And here the blocking is very fast, so you can just quickly take action when the enemy tries to attack you without waiting very long for the block to happen. And the blocking will eventually stops after you take off your tub from the controller, the blocks will just immediately stop, so Kirito won't take a long time to just stop taking the same stance there. And yeah, so far the blocking here is far better. The combat, it's fine. It's pretty much the same as Last Recollection, but here it's way slower. Although I think I prefer this much more now rather than the very fast Last Recollection, because in here with the slow attack, the move sets, you can feel the weight of the character's attack here, and especially in this game, although it can be very slow at times, but there are some mods, no, not mods, but there are some buffs that can make your character go a lot faster, and if you're very bothered by that, you can use that. But yeah, you can. It's a very satisfying combat here. You can feel like the weight of the every single slash, every attack, and yeah, unlike Last Recollection where everything feels like light, like you're basically attacking the enemies with a plastic sword. It doesn't feel that nice. It doesn't feel that satisfying. At first, I really enjoyed it because I played Alicization Lycoris when it first came out, very early on, and I can feel the like very slow combat, and I think I'm still used to that until the day Last Recollection came out. So when Last Recollection came out, I was really happy that the combat was a lot faster, but slowly I can feel just how basically unsatisfying it is, and I prefer with what Alicization Lycoris has right now. Unlike the very first time the game released, they increased the speed a bit, I think, over the course of a year or two maybe. There was an update. So yeah, it's not as slow as it was, but hey, it is bearable now. Like every attack is pretty satisfying. I actually enjoyed it a lot. Right now I'm playing it so I can remember what I like, how this game works. So yeah. And then on to the next one, we have like the soul link, the soul linkage. I'm just reading it right now. So here it's basically the X skill AI. It's like how you do it in Last Recollection as well, where you order your ally to do some stuff. But that one feels very simplified. That makes this one feels a lot advanced. And here you can do a lot of stuff, to be honest. Like if you go to the records part in the I think in the main menu, or no, in the menu of the game, you can literally switch a lot of stuff. You can customize, for example, some of your allies records, and then you can do a lot of stuff here. You can play some damage, some buffs, and make your ally do some skills, and you can order them to do the skills that you want that deals heavy damage. If you want that, then you have to customize it yourself. It can be pretty annoying, and it can be like, you know, you have to learn it first, because at first I really don't understand how this works, but it doesn't take that long until I pretty much understand. So yeah, after that we have the skill tree here. This one feels a lot more like has more variety than what Last Recollection has. In here you can do you have like the combat skills, you have the passive skills, you have more passive skills as well, EX skills. Here you can do a lot, and then for every single weapon here you have a lot of skills to use as well. There are like a different variety of skills as well. I think, in my opinion, Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris is actually a pretty good RPG game. Like, there is a lot of variety of, as I said earlier, skills, and weapons have a lot of stuff to do in it as well. The records for like each ally is pretty good. Like, you can do a lot of stuff here. I think for RPG lovers, they can really play a lot of stuff here. And of course, you cannot forget the skills. Like, you can combine with whatever skills you have unlocked, and you can do tremendous damage to one enemy. It is crazy. So yeah, for RPG wise, this is far greater than what we have on Last Recollection, because in Last Recollection it doesn't feel that much like an RPG. In here, it feels more like an RPG, and I kind of enjoyed it, to be honest. Although I don't really remember much about Hollow Realization, I will play that game again so I can get my mind into it. I want to review all of the SAO games at some point, so I want to replay all the games if I have time. So yeah, maybe my opinions will change in the future about this game. Maybe I will like this game a lot better. Maybe I will hate this game a lot better. Same with the previous one as well, like Last Recollection or maybe Fractured Daydream. Maybe I will have different opinions once I play the older games, but yeah, only time will tell. So yeah, we'll see. After that, we have obviously the common one, the main weapon, the armors, the accessories. They also helps for your stats as well. And as you can see here, there are quite a variety of parameters. There's attack, defend, accuracy, evade, strength, vitality, dex, and agility. Now, one thing that I think Last Recollection did very well is to basically remove the whole what's it called, accuracy, because the accuracy system here is very annoying. It's crazy. If you fight an enemy that's very high leveled, sure, you shouldn't be fighting them, but like if you fight them, it's basically impossible because most of the time you're not hitting them, you're gonna miss. That means you're basically doing no damage at all. Unlike in Last Recollection, where if you fight a very high leveled enemy, it will just let you deal smaller damage instead of like miss. And I think that's a lot better in general because missing the attack won't make the game any fun. Although here's a tip, if you wanna play this game, if you wanna solve the whole accuracy issue, I suggest you use the bow or the bow weapon, because I think they have like a higher rate hit for accuracy and better ones, so maybe you should use that instead of like the normal weapon for now. Although that is up to you. I don't really like to use the bow, so I usually find a wayfarer that uses the bow, so I don't use it basically. And I have one already, and it's like a player that's very strong, so yeah, I don't have any problems whenever I fight bigger enemies if I have him in the ally, but in the team. But yeah, most of the time for you guys who just play the game, it is gonna be very difficult because, well, it's still in the beginning of the game, and most of the time it's very annoying. One thing I realized while editing this video, I forgot to mention this, but there are two fighting modes, I have to say. One of them is the normal one, and the second one is the duel mode. It's where you go 1-to-1 with an enemy or basically someone you fight. And yeah, I think this mode is literally the coolest one I've seen. I am really sad they throw this away on Last Recollection because yeah, I think the duel mode adds a lot of like intensity in the fight because it's just you and the enemy, and it's not like you can just move everywhere easily. It's like an actual slow 1-to-1 fight, and it's all about accuracy and the persistent amount of you attack the enemy. Like everything is very, like, you have to be precise basically because it's not a very far range, it's a very close range fight, and you move with your stance, you prepare to block because the enemies are close and they can basically attack you as soon as possible. And it's a very cool mode. It usually happens, as I said earlier, when you're into a 1-on-1 fight. Most of the time it doesn't, but yeah, like the Yu-Gi-Oh fight earlier on the clip, that one made me realize it. And yeah, like I think this one really is a huge bummer because they throw this away. In my opinion, this one's really cool. Yeah, that's about it really for the gameplay. I think the gameplay here is pretty solid. There are still a lot of like stuff I would like to change. Like for example, maybe add the heavy attack instead. I think that will make the game a lot more fun. But if you press the triangle button here, there is ally skill, finish art, and super art. For ally skill, it's basically, well, you attack the enemy with the ally skill, so every single ally take turns attacking the enemy. For the finish arts, it's basically your ultimate. For the super arts, you make everything slow down and deal bigger damage, and you have a higher critical rate. I don't use this a lot often, but usually when I have the ultimate, I use the ultimate. Or if I really want to deal big, great damage, I use the super arts and just spam the skills, spam the buffs, and basically attack it until it died. So yeah, there are a lot of variation here as well. The ally skill does not really help at some point, so yeah, it's not that useful, but then again, I think it's better than what we have in Last Recollection, which is pretty dumb in my opinion. And then we have the like and the like system again, but in this game it's not as prioritized as in Last Recollection. In here it doesn't really do much effect, so I suggest you guys don't worry about that. But then again, I ramble too much on the gameplay here. It's not that deep, it's not as fluent, but it is bearable gameplay, and it's something that you can find enjoyment in. So yeah, it is an okay gameplay so far. And then we move on to the graphics. It is not the second part, so I'll just immediately go. The graphics is, well, as you can see, it can look pretty outdated at some point, but it is not the worst looking SAO game ever. Like, we have Last Recollection that somehow screw up the graphics. Although yes, they optimized it, they make the game look better, but they make the game basically feel better as well. But still, this game looks way better than Last Recollection, but that doesn't mean it looks amazing. This game looks like a very old like early PS4 games, or maybe very late PS3 games. It is not amazing. Sure, this game is a PS4 game back then, but I was quite hoping a lot. So yeah, the graphics is not something that you are supposed to be hooked on. Especially in anime games like this, they usually don't have great graphics, so I don't really put much like attention to it. But yeah, if you guys are into graphics, then you might have second thoughts here. But it's not that bad for Alicization Lycoris, because there are some moments where the game looked good. But yeah, the only problem is it's not as smooth as a Last Recollection, which is, I think, a small problem, but not a big one. So yeah, in my opinion, the graphics are fine. Really, it's not the worst. I wouldn't really compare it to the older games because they're older games. So yeah, I would just stick with my guns. Say the graphics is pretty okay. We're moving on to the story, the meat of this game, the meat and potatoes of this game, and it is actually pretty crazy how they focus so much into this game. It, like, I don't think Last Recollection focused that heavily on the story, although there are a lot of dialogue, sure, but like in this game you can really tell the first chapter they're doing a lot. Although I wouldn't say that much because they have the source material already. So in this story, the first chapter, obviously in like any game fashion, they add like a new character, which is Medina, which I love so much back then. And yeah, basically she appeared at the first chapter, although she's not a huge character yet. She does not make any changes. She's not a part of it just yet until chapter 2. So the whole first chapter is just you playing the Alicization arc. You're basically watching the anime again, and it's quite boring. Like, I'm not saying the arc is boring, I'm just saying like the way they execute the way they present the story is pretty boring. It's basically you're just playing a visual novel because it's an endless dialogue with every single character. I remember that one time where I was talking with Cardinal. I think I can pop the episode right now. Like, it's I forget the title. I think it's something to do with like, oh, the longest talk ever or something like that. That one's really long, and that's just two characters talking. Sure, I mean, like, it's not rare or anything, but like it's a visual novel at the end of the day. So yeah, in this game, number one is visual novel priority, and then the second one is gameplay. So don't be shocked if you see a lot of like visual novel-y type, but there are an option in the like in your settings, where if you go to the other settings too, there is the light play mode, where basically it will decrease a lot of like the story moment from chapter 1 into a bit, so they kind of time skip a lot sometimes, so you can quickly go to chapter 2 where the original content continues. So yeah, I think chapter 1 is the easily the strongest one in this game, because I think in my opinion Alicization arc story is the best. So I really love the first chapter, but then again, you're better off just watching the anime rather than playing this story here. And then we have chapter 2 and onwards. It's just a very tedious like stuff to do. You go back and forth to a certain position, and then story happens, and like it's not that interesting. In my opinion, this is the weakest the story has ever been. I don't really like this one. Even the older games I think have better story, because a lot of the character also does a lot of good jobs. In here the story is not that great really past chapter 1. So yeah, you might need to get used to it, especially the tedious attack this plant, and then you go back to the main base to talk with someone, to do story dialogues, and then you go back, attack more plants, and then you attack the plants on the different area, and you keep on doing that. It's really tedious. So yeah, it's not good as well. Like it feels more like padding at that point. But yeah, the story not that great. So yeah, just don't hope too much. Although yeah, it is at some point most of the character moments, the side character events are pretty good. The DLC are pretty good, I think, because they're not long and they're focusing on one point and one point only. So yeah, like there are still good points, good moments in the story, but it certainly is not even close to being great, let alone it's barely a good story. So yeah, the story, it's pretty okay. Moving on. And then we have the music. I don't know why I keep putting this category here, because I know not a lot of people care, but the music here is pretty great actually. I said it in Fractured Daydream already, but there are some music in Alicization Lycoris where it's very very good, especially I will probably show you some of them, especially the first half of the game when you fight most of the boss fight has very cool theme song, like it makes you keep going. And yeah, like not everything, but there are basically most of the music is pretty good here, especially the boss music. I really like it. Although the normal music, like the chill music, is pretty okay. I'm not really into it that much, but yeah, this is probably the third best SEO game with the best music. So yeah, I'm giving it the top 3. I think it's pretty good. It's not bad. You can use some of the music for your own. You can listen to it, and you might have a great time listening to it. So yeah, so far the music is great. Alright, the conclusion is we are here already. It is a very short video compared to the last two. But then again, it's not because I want to make this short. It's just that I don't really remember much. Maybe in the future I will have a re-review. But as for now, this is what I have. So yeah, the positives are there. Like for example, the RPG elements are pretty good. At some point, it's pretty like the dungeons as well. There are dungeons, raid dungeons. They're pretty fun. They keep you from like making the game not like have less things. In here, you can basically do the dungeons or even some of the other modes to collect like accessories, cool weapons, better weapons, and increase your character. So yeah, you have to grind to that, and the grinding at some point can be a bit like tiring or a lot, but it's what keeps you playing the game basically, and it's not that like bad. I think it's pretty okay. in my opinion. So yeah, we have that. The combat again is pretty okay in the here, and then what else? The story, uh, although it's not like the best, at least chapter 1 exists, and I think it is it is what holds out the most in the story, because after that it's just downhill. But yeah, overall this game is actually overhated in my opinion, because I hear a lot of people hating this game quite a lot. uh, I think in my opinion people were expecting too much back then, and I understand, because after Fatal Bullet people were hoping that the next game will be amazing. uh, Especially Akuria, after what they did with Hollow Realization, I think a lot of people will be like hyped with the RPG stuff as well. But yeah, it didn't quite stick the landing with the big budget as well, mind you, and somehow Akuria doesn't do a good job. Really, some of the cutscenes are great, like the CGI cutscenes are cool. There are some of the in-game motion cap cutscenes. They are amazing job. They're amazing, bro. Like, I hope they're also in Lasha Collection, but they never existed, which kind of sucked. Not even the CGI existed in Lasha Collection. So yeah, obviously they work with bigger budget in this game, and I have a feeling they work with lesser budget on the Lasha Collection, or maybe they're just rushed to hell with Lasha Collection, because in my opinion they're not doing a good job with the amount of budget they have for Lasha Collection. So yeah, I can really tell that this game have more budget in it, and yeah, it's great, but at the same time it could be a lot better. That's why I called this video a missed opportunity, because they could do so much more with this game, with the amount of marketing, with the amount of hype, because this game was released in the middle of War of Underworld. People were like, basically was hype, like, oh, we have an Alicization game finally, and there's like an open area, a lot of open area within I forgot what it's called, basically within the whole wall there, the world. Obviously everyone was hyped, like it's amazing. It's not like linear area as well, like in Lasha Collection. In here it's more of an open area, and it's amazing. You know, people were hyped about it, like understandably I was hyped about it, but you know, they didn't execute it that well, which is very disappointing. Like, with the amount of budget they have, with the amount of effort, I can tell here they somehow screwed and nailed it, really. So yeah, it's a shame. With the amount of budget they have, they could really do a great job. They could make a very great SEO game, although it won't be like the best, I think, because people have some complaints like, oh, where's the character customization? Oh, like we're not playing our own character. That's the biggest complaint I've heard with every single like person whenever they're complaining about the game. Like, they want a character creation and all that, which I understand, you know, but then again, you wouldn't really see that a lot nowadays. And if you want that, you can go and play Fatal Bullet. I think that's a very decent game so far. Not the best one, because it is dethroned already by a certain game. So yeah, overall I think this game is a solid 7 out of 10. It is way better than Lasha Collection, which is crazy because this game released before Lasha Collection. So yeah, the game just went downwards after that. Nobody really enjoyed it. I was not hyped back then, but you know, I was an SEO fan, so I mean, I am always an SEO fan, so even the shit they are going to poop out, I will probably play it, because I just love SEO. So yeah, if there's another game that's probably as bad as this, I will probably play it, although I don't really know. So yeah, 7 out of 10, take it or leave it. Is this game worth it or not? Should you play it? Well, if the game is on sale, I heard a lot of people like asking about it. So yeah, this is the one. If you love SAO, if you're a casual fan, maybe wait for sale, and then buy it. Really, I think it goes for every single sides. Like if you're a SEO fan, if you're a huge SEO fan, if you're just a casual, if you're an anime fan, just like, oh, should I play this game? Well, if you're one of those people, then I think, in my opinion, just wait for sale or wait for the game to have like a free month subscription or whatever, where you can play the game for free. That's it really, because like buying the game on full price is the biggest regret I did. Although I cannot really say a lot because this game has a lot of memories. I play this game a lot. This is my longest SEO game. It's like around 3 to 400 hours. So yeah, I love this game. There will always be a special place in my heart with this game. So yeah, whatever it is, I think it varies on different people's perspective. So yeah, if you like SEO, then go buy it if it's on sale. Just never buy it on a full price. And yeah, that's about it really. Yeah, I will probably review more SEO games. The next one is probably Fatal Bullet. I don't really know. I want to go very like way back with the whole like Rehole Fragment, Lost Song. I want to review those as well. I don't think I will review Axel World versus SAO because I don't have that game yet, but maybe someday I will. So yeah, I will review those one day because I know I'm gonna be busy, and I hope you guys are on the hook about it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. I'm sorry if this is a bad review. I am not used to it. I'm still getting the hang of it, and and you can tell because I'm like doing quite a lot of review videos now. So yeah, I'll see you guys on to the next one. Goodbye.